Hey guys, just wanted to talk about some news in the boxing world. This has actually happened a little while back, but I'm slow to get these videos out, so I'm working on that, getting a little faster with stuff. But I wanted to kind of talk about my opinion on this. This is Ben Whittaker. He's an Olympic boxer, and he has become super viral for basically having probably one of the best highlight reels recently of any boxer that you can think of. Um, Normally, when you get somebody who's an Olympic level boxer or a very high level possible star, when they come out of the amateurs into the pros, they're pushed into a padded scenario, right? So they get a lot of promotion and they get a lot of gimme fights, right? Guys brought in to be sacrificial lambs. Usually you're trying to go for that 20-0 record because that's kind of how it goes in boxing. If you're not 20-0, you're probably not anything. Who is Cameron? Cameron is a very game fighter who is brought in to lose this fight. He has 6 losses and 23 wins, but his last loss was a split decision against a pretty good guy, and also some of his losses are questionable, and also he's had a lot of personal life issues. Besides that, he is not an easy fight. He's a very tough guy. I'm surprised they took this fight. And to be honest with you, he was brought in to lose, and he decided, fuck that, I'm not going to lose. So real quick, just to kind of give you an idea of some of Ben Whittaker's moments and highlights and stuff to kind of see what happens when he fights guys normally. I'm just going to show you a couple highlights of his. He's pretty flashy dude. He does a lot of really good head movement stuff, making guys look dumb, embarrassed, things like this, where he's rotating through and dancing in the corner, hands down, uppercuts, so forth. Just embarrassing his opponents before he knocks them out. And here's another example. Yeah, I mean, just absolutely embarrassing the guys that he's facing. Anyways, just wanted to give you some quick highlights on him. If you want to watch highlights of him, there's a lot out there. If you're in the boxing world, you've probably seen this guy and you've probably seen his highlights and his antics. The problem that I have with guys that do stuff like this is twofold. First thing is normally when this happens, when you look like this, right, and you haven't really faced anybody yet, you tend to get pushed really fast, really hard, and so you start facing guys that are maybe outside of your ability. And the second thing is when you're really flashy and high highlight, you tend to lean on that instead of leaning on fundamentals. So when you face a guy who's tougher, who maybe makes it a dogfight, who makes it more difficult for you, your flashiness doesn't really do very much, and all of a sudden you have to go to your fundamentals, and your fundamentals are kind of not as good as they should be for the level that you're fighting at. So why am I highlighting this? The reason I'm highlighting this is because this fight had a really weird ending. Weird is an understatement. In my opinion, Ben Whittaker quit and found out a way to get out of the fight. I personally think what he did should be investigated and looked at because I think the fight should be a win for Liam. But we're going to watch this in slow motion. We're going to see. This is the fifth round, the end of the fifth round. Liam's starting to turn the tide of the fight. Liam has kind of been an inside fighter, hitting hard body shots, overhands, kind of, a lot of kind of wild shots, but he's landing stuff, and Whittaker is starting to look like he's wilting. Whittaker's used to these really nice, clean fights for him, where he's beating guys up and making them look embarrassed, and this guy kind of decided he wasn't going to have that shit, and decided, no, I'm actually going to fight you, and you're going to have to deal with me. So, right before this, Liam landed a body shot on Whittaker, and Whittaker is essentially trying to clench up here as they walk forward. We're going to watch this in real slow motion and take a look at what happens. So you're going to notice that Whittaker already, he gets a underhook essentially on the right side there, and more or less an overhook on the other side. So if he didn't have gloves on, he'd almost be grabbing his hands together like this around Liam's body. Liam's pushing Whittaker back a little bit here. Now, you can already start to see Whittaker is leaning back. He's leaning back, and he's kind of looking back. And like I said, he's been hit to the body a few times at this point. So to me, it started to look like he was kind of starting to crumble, and his body was getting beat up. And then he looks up, and leans back. Now, these ropes are not the most sturdy ropes I've ever seen. They look a little loose, but he is looking up and back, and he leans back. And at this point, if you kind of look at where Liam's feet are, Liam's right foot is almost completely off the ground, and his left foot doesn't have very much leverage here. And he is being lifted up, right? And Whittaker's, both his feet are basically directly underneath him, and he's leaning back. And that is going to result in this happening. Now, again, you could look at Liam's feet. Both his feet are off to the side. He has no power. He's not generating power here, right? He's not able to push over and over. And Whittaker's, both his feet are still on the ground. This is a scenario where Whittaker could do things to stop this from happening. He could like try to roll to the side. He could try to push in, but he continues to just keep going straight back and over. And then his feet are in the air. Both men's feet are straight up in the air. And then he comes down. And here we are, right? Now, what you're going to notice is right after this, you can look at Whittaker's face. And he's like acting like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. So just to... I guarantee you can't guess what he said he hurt in this situation that couldn't be that allowed him to not be able to fight anymore, right? So he's unable to fight anymore. He's, oh, I'm injured. I can't keep going, right? This fight has to be over. Can you guess what he said hurt? We're gonna watch it again. Right, so we're going to watch a little bit. Let's skip ahead just a bit here because this is right about. So this point is where they highlight it starting forward. I'll show you what I mean. So this right here, right? So this is the best shot you're going to get. So again, right here, right? Whittaker's chin is up in the air, right? And basically he is pulling him up and over him. Leaning back. There's no like if I'm trying to pull you over I lean back like this, my neck is going back, right? If I'm trying to stop somebody from doing that, I'm crunching in and forward. My chin is coming down. I would be pushing back into you if I'm trying to go over, right? If you're trying to push me back, I'm going to be like this. I'm not going to be like, I'm going over? Oh no. Like, look at me go over. Like, bro, you're not just leaning back and into this if you're not trying to make this happen, right? Look at him lean. Like, he never once for a second, like, puts his chin in anything. He just leans, totally fine with leaning the whole way through this, all the way down, right? And now look, I want you to see something here. All right, so this is this right here. He's coming up. Both men's legs are way up in the air, right? So if you look, right, neither man's even touching the ground yet. Right? Liam's left arm is posted on the floor here, and his right arm is here, which means that almost all of Liam's actually trying to catch himself too. This is another thing that I found really interesting. He never lets go. Right? So again, you don't want to fall backwards. I'm falling backwards. Right? I'm going like, I don't want to fall backwards. I'm trying to push against you so I don't fall backwards. Second thing, if I'm falling backwards and I'm going over this fucking couch right now, I'm going to be putting my arms up to try to catch myself. I'm not just holding on to you and just going, oh, I guess I'm falling backwards. Like, you did that on purpose. You did it on purpose. It's obvious, right? And then you look at who's not trying to go over the top here, and it's fucking Liam. Liam puts his arms down. Look at him putting his arm down. He's posting on the ground here. He is creating a frame to try to essentially handstand himself on the ropes so that he doesn't go up and over. Look at this. Where are your arms, my dude? Like, you're not even trying to catch yourself. You're still just holding on to him. Then he comes down, right? Okay, so we're going to pause right here. So you look at this and you look at where Liam's legs are and where his head is and where his arms are and everything. All of his weight is above Whittaker's, right? So he didn't even fall on him. There is almost no body weight here on Whittaker at all. His head is there. Liam's head's somewhere over here or here, right? And you're going to see that in a second when he comes out. But, like, look at this. Like, none of his body weight is on him. And look how he gets his whole body extended out nice and loosely. His team comes over, or whoever's there, tries to catch the legs, right? And now we're here. So, can you guess what he said he injured when watching that? He had to be taken out in a wheelchair because he said he hurt his ankle. You could have said anything. Like, you could have said my neck, my shoulder, fucking a million things. But you said your ankle. That is insanity. Both of your feet fucking did not your ankle didn't hit shit, dude. Didn't hit shit. And then the funny thing is, you leave in a wheelchair, and then in the back, you punch a hole in the wall, right? You punch a hole in the wall. So you didn't have enough fight in the ring, but you had to fight for drywall in the back. Dude, get the fuck out of here. You are like the kids who like turn off their consoles so they don't lose, right? Like that that is the most shady shit. It should be investigated. It should be overturned as a win for Cameron. It's super fucking shitty. Like, if guys can just start doing this, why wouldn't they do this? Right? Think of the amount of money that is in boxing and how much time and effort these guys put into these boxing matches, and how much a loss on somebody like Ben Whittaker's career that can affect him, right? How much a loss could affect his career. Think about that shit, right? Of course he's going to do this shit. Of course they will, right? Like, why wouldn't they? And if you fucking allow this kind of shit, it's going to set a precedent. So it's like, let's this should be overturned. I know it won't be. It's fucking boxing. Boxing's corrupt as shit. They wanted a guy to win, and they figured out a way he figured out a way to get out of it. And of course, the promotion's not going to do shit because the promotion doesn't want fucking Cameron to win this shit. So, like, it is what it is. It's super shitty. I feel bad for Cameron. I'm happy he's going to get a payday. He deserves a rematch. Hopefully he gets a better payday for the rematch. That's all I got on this, really.